The Karachaganak field, discovered in 1979, is one of the world's largest oil and gas condensate fields. Successful development of Karachaganak is inextricably linked with the transfer of modern technologies and best practices gained from Karachaganak's project partner companies, British BG Group, Italian Eni, American Chevron, Russian Lukoil, and the leader of the Kazakhstan oil and gas industry, national company Kazmunagas. Karachaganak is a multi-billion investment project with record-setting levels of production, international standard operation activities, and of course advanced environmental technologies and innovations. Karachaganak is also one of the largest operating fields in Kazakhstan. In 2012 alone, KPO produced 139.5 million barrels of hydrocarbons in oil equivalent. Achievement of such record operational performance requires exemplary environmental activity. Therefore, in all its activities, KPO strives for the minimization of any environmental impact, to preserve biodiversity within Karachaganak and improve bioresources in the region.
Harmonization with the environment during operational activity in such a technically complicated field as Karachaganak is a serious task requiring continued effort from every KPO employee and contractor personnel. The main target of KPO health, safety and environment policy is the minimization of environmental impact, assurance of integrity and safe operation of our production facilities, today and in the future. In its activity, KPO strictly observes requirements of Kazakhstan legislation. An environmental management system was implemented and successfully operates in the company in accordance with the requirements of ISO 14001.
KPO has developed and implemented a number of innovative technologies and methods aimed at the reduction of air emissions generated in the course of raw hydrocarbon production. As a result, in the last 5 years, the total air emission volume was reduced by 16% and emissions per unit of hydrocarbon produced by 25%.
We at KPO have achieved significant results in improving gas utilization and reducing gas flaring volumes. Let's have a look to the figure then. In 2012, the volume of flare gas was equal to only 0.13% of the total volume of gas produced. In other words, for each 1,000 tons of oil produced, the gas flare was equivalent only to 0.78 tons, about 20 times less than the worldwide average. A world-class indicator and performance indeed. Nevertheless, KPO continues to look for and introduce further emission reduction technologies, especially in the areas of well testing and well cleanup.
In accordance with ROK legislative requirements and commitments under the Kyoto Protocol, KPO took a voluntary commitment to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, GHG, which is recognized as the primary cause of global climate change. On an annual basis, the company develops an inventory of GHG emissions that result from production activities in the field. According to the inventory, the total amount of greenhouse gas emissions in 2012 amounted to 1,750,000 tons of GHG. It is recognized that a growth of production is unavoidably followed by a growth in the volume of greenhouse emissions. In spite of this, the specific volume of greenhouse gases in terms of units of hydrocarbon production remained at the same level in the period 2010 to 2012. Comparative analysis with data from the International Association of Oil and Gas Companies confirms that KPO's performance of specific volume of GHG emissions per unit of hydrocarbon production is 20% below than the European average and nearly 2/3 lower than the international average. This fact confirms that KPO is successfully implementing its strategy on the reduction of GHG emissions. The achieved results were recognized at the annual BG Group Chairman Awards ceremony held in May 2012 in the United Kingdom, where KPO received the highest award in the environmental protection category, Climate Changing Program on Reduction of Greenhouse Gases.
The company pays special attention to the planning and implementation of environmental measures. As of today, the investments in environmental projects have amounted to 34.3 billion tenge. Particular attention is focused on activities aimed at reducing pollutant emissions, waste management, and the introduction of new technologies. The Environmental Protective Measures Plan is submitted to public hearings, where the community has the opportunity to be familiarised with the activities of the company and take an active part in the development of the plan.
As part of the measures taken to reduce the quantity of wastes and their environmental impact, KPO built a modern eco-centre where there is a liquid waste treatment plant which treats hydrocarbon contaminated water, recycles brines to be reused for well drilling, as well as the treatment of water in a wastewater collector for injection into dedicated wastewater disposal wells. KPO has put into service a new landfill on the territory where allocation of industrial waste is carried out. In the near future, solid waste from a separate, older, temporary allocation site will be partially relocated to this new landfill, and the remaining waste will be moved in accordance with the results of laboratory tests. In the future, the old allocation site will be decommissioned and remedial works will take place to clear the cells of waste. Also, it is planned to put into service a waste segregation unit, which will allow the reduction of the overall amount of household wastes sent to the landfill, reducing volumes of incinerated waste and segregating valuable materials for recycling, such as paper, textile, plastic bottles, glass, polyethylene, and ferrous and non-ferrous metals. In cooperation with the West Kazakhstan State University, KPO carries out research work on the use of carbonate drill cuttings, treated at the Thermal Mechanical Cuttings Cleaning Facility for road construction. Following the results of the research work, it was determined that the carbonate drill cutting could be used as a raw material for the production of mineral filler, which is used in the manufacture of asphalt concrete.
As stated by President Nazarbayev, the next 20 years for Kazakhstan will become the period for the best technologies and innovations, and science shall be the basis of innovative economics. One of the key aspects of innovative economics is to create a developed scientific field, ensuring a strong connection between the field of education and science with industry and the business community. As part of the execution of innovation programs, jointly with KPO, we have completed the research work regarding the development of a methodology for the use and processing of carbonate oil-based drilling mud cuttings. In particular, based on laboratory and pilot test results, a method was suggested to process carbonate drill cuttings for use as mineral filler for asphalt concrete.
The protection and rational use of water resources is a critical and high priority task. KPO strives to optimise the consumption of fresh water in the field by taking measures in the conservation of water resources and recycling of treated water where possible. KPO is proud of its operating procedure for water recycling in the field. The main water source used for technical needs is the technical water pond located at the Konchibai Gully, which is refilled through the accumulation of meltwaters. Wastewater is processed for further use, the makeup of drilling mud, dust control, and the irrigation of vegetation. Hence, approximately 280,000 cubic meters of water resources were saved over the last 3 years. A well-defined production environmental monitoring system is established in the company, and a wide range of observations are made, such as monitoring of the condition of environmental components, including surface water basins, underground waters, and soil, as well as daily monitoring of atmospheric air quality at the sanitary protection zone boundary and in adjacent communities. A wide spectrum of monitoring activities are also performed on the production emissions, wastewater, and industrial waste.
KPO cares about the environment and routinely monitors the air quality to ensure that the environment is not adversely affected by its production operations. A total of 16 fixed automatic stations and 2 mobile laboratories are used for this purpose. These environmental stations are in continuous operating mode, and the air quality data in the Karachaganak oil and gas condensate field area is logged by the system. If any of the monitored parameters exceeds the permissible limit, then an alarm is enunciated to a central control point. This efficient, reliable monitoring system ensures that KPO has true real-time information, providing early detection and timely response in the unlikely event of the maximum permissible concentration being exceeded.
In recent years, the conservation of the biological diversity of the planet has become a more urgent problem. To solve this, a number of international agreements, such as the Convention on Biological Diversity and the Cartagena Protocol, have been signed, and many countries have initiated special scientific research. Work aimed at the conservation of biological diversity was initiated by KPO in 2010. Karachaganak Field is the habitat for a large amount of flora and fauna species, comprising of those listed in the Red Book of Kazakhstan. KPO therefore carried out scientific research on the basic condition of biodiversity and impact due to production operation activities, and this work will be continued. KPO devotes much attention to environmental education. Every year, environmental competitions that coincide with the celebration of World Environment Day are held. Forums are performed and workshops and meetings are organised within the company and with contractors. These are targeted at the exchange of information, discussion of issues, and providing suggestions on the improvement of environmental performance indicators.
Corporate Environment Department specialists regularly carry out internal workshops. The main purpose of these workshops is the exchange of information, constructive discussion of important environmental issues, and the development of a consensus of opinion. I think these workshops can contribute to the improvement of collaboration of the Corporate Environment Department and the production facilities, and facilitate the achievement of the company's environmental performance indicators.
KPO maintains its nature preservation activities based on environmental programs approved by the authorised bodies in the area of environment protection and sanitary epidemiological control. At the same time, the company strives to work to the best world standards of business conduct.
And I am proud to be a part of KPO's leadership effort on environmental performance. As a world-class operator of hydrocarbon facilities, KPO strives to introduce green economy standards into its operations by ensuring that environmental performance is at the very top of our business agenda. Playing a leading role in promoting best environmental practices and thereby contributing to the sustainable development of the Republic of Kazakhstan is one of KPO's most important obligations. This is reflected in both our approach to corporate and social responsibility and our health, safety and environment policy.
To date, KPO has delivered impressive environmental performance results. In the future, the milestone for the Kazakhstan production sector will meet the aspiration of President Nursultan Nazarbayev to pass to green economy and program a green bridge that is approved by global society at the World Summit of the UN Rio +20. Notwithstanding this, Karachaganak Petroleum Operating BV already proactively integrates green economy standards into its daily activities by prioritising issues of industrial safety, environmental protection and sustainable development. World-class performance and continuous improvement is not a destination. It is a never-ending journey, and one which KPO will continue to strive against to reach new, safe and sustainable production achievements for the common welfare of partners from Karachaganak and Kazakhstan.